Hello, lovely people. Today we are looking at foot strength, ankle mobility, ankle strength. You're going to need a towel and possibly a step, or unless you have something like a weight or a block that you can use. So get your stuff together and let's go. Okay, we're going to start off with a little bit of ankle mobility. So you're going to circle the ankle joints. And think about this quite mindfully, going round all the way. How does it feel? And then round in the other direction. How does it feel? Easier, harder, the same. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Does it feel a little bit harder on one ankle than it does on the other? It does for me. And then going round in the other direction. And if it feels harder on one ankle, then it might be you need to do a little bit more on that ankle. Lovely. And release. Then we're going to look at some ankle mobility. Now, there's a good test for ankle mobility, which involves coming up to a wall. So imagine I have a wall here where my towel is, but you can actually go to a wall. You're going to place your foot about 10 centimetres from the wall, spread the toes out. If you have a big toe that rolls in, see if you can pull it out a little bit. Press into the big toe joint. And then you're going to bring the knee towards the wall, keeping the heel down. So we're looking at this leg, and as you can see, my knee is going towards the towel. So if your knee cannot go beyond the toes, that suggests that your ankle is quite tight and restricted. So this would be quite a good exercise for you to do. If you don't have enough range of movement at the ankle, it can have a knock-on effect on the knee. The knee starts doing more work and also have a knock-on effect on the hip. So in order for those joints to not overwork, I would suggest this would be a great exercise to do regularly. So think about that big toe joint pressing down, nice and level with the foot, so you're not rolling one way or the other. And you're just encouraging that knee towards the wall. Okay, let's do the same on the other foot. Spread the toes, press into the big toe joint. So it's roughly a hand span is about 10 centimetres. And then go towards the wall with your knee, keeping the heel down. Really important that you keep the back heel down. And just see how it feels. Practice it. Do it every day. Good. So we're doing about 10 on each side, I would say. I've lost count, but we'll do 2 more. And last one. And release. Okay, so you might want to come to a bottom step. Unless you've got a little block to stand on, you might need something to hold on to. You're going to pop your foot onto the step with half the foot dangling like so. And then you're just going to drop the heel down and lift it up. So it's really important that we spread the toes out nice and wide, get a little bit of space between them, and that big toe isn't rolling in towards the other toe. So see if you can pull it out a little bit and then press into the big toe joint so you've got some stability through that side of the foot. And then lift and lower, pressing into the big toe joint. So we're getting a stretch into the calf. And then we're getting a bit of strength work into the calf as we lift up. So we've done calf raises before in previous videos. So you should be getting quite good at this. So keep the foot level. Try not to roll one way or the other. So you've got that even pressure through the foot. And 3 more, 2 more, and last one. Whew, that's a bit of a workout. Just give it a bit of a shake. Switch sides. Spread the toes, press into the big toe joint, drop and raise. And again, you might find one leg is completely different to the other. So this is my much weaker leg. And I'm finding it a lot harder on this foot to do this exercise, which means I need to do more of these on this side. 2 more, and last one, and release. And I would encourage you to build up to doing 2 or 3 sets of those to build up some strength with the ankle. Okay, let's have a look at the foot. So we want to have a nice gap between the toes so they're not all squished together, because we don't want them to be shoe shaped. We want them to be foot shaped, so there's maximum stability from the ground up in your body. So see if you can, I mean, you might need to get down on the floor to do this, but see if you can just pull the toes apart. Create a little bit of space between them. And you might even get a towel or something like a dressing gown cord and just pop it between each one. It's hard to see there, but you could pop it between each toe to create some space there, like so. And then for the next, once you've done that on both, try to create a little bit of space through each foot and just wiggle them forward and back. Just stretch the ligaments a little bit, make a bit of space. And then we're going to do a toe exercise, a big toe exercise. So for me, because my toes tend to roll in, I'm going to pop a towel between them, between the big toe rather, sorry, and the first toe. And then I'm going to hold on to my other toes. And then I'm going to lift and lower my big toe joint, lift and lower my big toe joint. So I've got the towel here to stop the toe rolling in. Lift and lower the big toe joint without the other toes getting involved. So the toe is in a good position, and we're aiming for 10 of these, so the other toes are staying put on the floor, and we're just lifting and lowering that big toe joint, which can be really, really hard if your toes aren't used to doing this. So really visualize it. Just do 2 more and practice it, and it will get easier. Let's have a look at the other foot. Always trickier on one more so than the other. So I've got that towel between my foot to keep the big toe spaced, and then I'm going to try and lift this, and I'm going to have to hold on to my baby toes here because the big toe doesn't want to do it on its own. It's a little bit weaker on this side. I have a little bit of arthritis in that toe, so it doesn't want to move as much. But keep working on it. Good. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more, and relax. And again, I would build up to doing 2 or 3 sets of that exercise. Before we carry on, we're going to have a little stretch for the top of the foot. So you're going to see if you can scrunch the toes over. You might need to hold on to something. Bend the knee and hold that position. So you might find that this gives you a bit of cramp in the underside of your foot, which is quite normal. Just stop, give it a massage, give it a shake, try it again. Your body will get used to it. And then hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. Just stretching the top of the foot, which we don't often do, I think you will agree. And then let's switch sides. Other side, just scrunching the toes under, breathing, relaxing, feeling the stretch. Good. And then release. Nice. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the floor, and we're going to stretch out the toes. So you might need a cushion for this. So if you don't want to put much weight onto the heels, you're going to use a cushion. Try and spread the toes out as wide as you can, so you get the little baby toe pressing into the floor as well as the big toes. And then you can either sit down on your heels like so, or you could sit on the cushions to relieve a little bit of pressure there. And then see if you can hold that for a few breaths. If it's really tight, your foot's tight, you might find that quite painful. You might not want to do it for very long at first. Just breathe. So I'll be guided by you as to how long you want to hold that. And you can build up to doing it for about 30 seconds and doing it several times. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. And then gently release. Maybe just give the toes a little bit of a bounce. And then you might want to sit back on your heels. See if you can sit back comfortably in this position. If you can't, you could try getting your towel and popping that, perhaps a thicker towel than I have, popping that under your top of your ankles, or the bottom of your ankles, just before your foot there. You might find that helps. That makes it a little bit easier. But this is also a really nice stretch for the foot if you can withstand it. So don't do it if it's painful, but if it's just a bit uncomfortable and it's a stretch, then you can just work into it, and then eventually you might be able to move like so, forward and back through the stretch. Okay, and releasing. Nice. Okay. We're going to come into a soleus stretch. That's the base of the ankle. So you're going to come onto your knee, pop your foot forward, lift your heel up, spread the toes, press into the base of the big toe. And then I want you to track your knee forward. So imagine your knee is traveling forward, but at the same time, your heel wants to go down to the floor. So knee goes forward, but it's having a little bit of a fight with the heel, and the heel wants to go down towards the floor. So you should get a stretch into the base of your ankle, into your Achilles kind of area. And then just breathe and hold, breathe and hold, breathe and hold, and switch other side. So if you can't get into this position, don't worry. It's very similar to doing dropping the heel off the step. So that's absolutely fine. So knee traveling forward, you're on your heel's off the floor, and you're traveling forward with the knee, and then your heel's having a little bit of an argument with the knee and it wants to win. So it's trying to travel down towards the floor until you feel that stretch into the ankle, and then just breathe and breathe, breathe and breathe. And then release. And coming up into standing. Then you're going to grab your towel. You could actually do this with this next exercise with some kitchen roll. It might be easier for you with some kitchen roll. You're going to place your foot onto the towel or the kitchen roll, and you're going to try and scrunch your foot so that the underside of the foot is doing the work, not the toes. So you're going to press into the base of the big toe joint, and you're going to try and scrunch the towel towards you using the underside of the foot. So we're shortening the underside of the foot, and you should feel this in that arch space. It's not working very well for me because I've got a very grippy floor surface which isn't allowing me to move the towel, but hopefully you can see what the intention is there. So we're doing 10 on one foot, 2 more, pull the towel towards you, don't scrunch the toes under, release, and then try the same on the other side. Now you're going to find that one foot is probably going to find this easier than the other, and it'll be your stronger foot. So it's interesting to see. So for me, my left foot is not really very good at this. So I need to work on this foot more. Same for you guys. If one foot's not really doing it very well, then you need to work on that one. It feels probably quite challenging if your foot intrinsic muscles are a bit weak. Good. But keep working on it. It will get easier. And again, you should feel this on the underside of your foot. And 2 more. And 1 more. And release. So building up to doing a couple of sets of 10 of that exercise. And then we're going to pop that into a balance. So I want you to imagine that you're still doing that pulling of the towel using the underside of your foot, but you're going to come into a single leg balance. Press into the base of that big toe and see if you can shorten the underside of the foot and see how that feels when you balance. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe, and release. Switch sides. So pull the big toe towards the heel. Use the underside of the foot. Other side, breathe. Really focus on pulling and shortening the underside of the foot, and breathe, and breathe, and let go. And you can repeat that as many times as you want. And that's plenty, I think, for now for foot health. Last thing we're going to do is just a little bit of piano playing, what I call piano playing through the foot. So starting with the baby toe, seeing if you can take each toe towards the floor one at a time. Each toe towards the floor one at a time. And this is something to work on just to get a little bit more mobility through those toes. Have a couple more, that's it, and relax. And then lastly, I would encourage you all to spend more time without your shoes on, thinking about the feet, those exercises that we've done today, and what feedback you get from your feet to the rest of your body, and how important they are for walking, running, and everything else that you do, including your balance. So give your feet a little bit of love and a little bit of attention. See you soon.